All right, I think we are ready to start. Welcome to the session about AI, one of many, even at this conference, I'm sure. Before we start, I want to make two things clear. First of all, I don't want to sell you anything during this session. It's going to be, despite the fact that I'm representing WEBCON and we are here as a sponsor, this session is not about our product at all. And the second thing I want to make sure we are clear about is the fact that whenever I'll be speaking about the use of AI, I'm meaning structural, organized, company-wide use cases, okay? And usage. So I'll not be speaking about using ChatGPT from time to time to, draft your email. I'm using, and I'll be talking about more, let's say, organizational-wide use cases. And the whole idea for this session actually comes from multiple discussions that I'm having with our clients and potential clients who are pushed by their management, which is saying, look, AI is so disruptive, is so advanced, we need to use it, right? But at the end of the day, there's a question how and why. And there are many, actually many questions that we could ask here. So I want to give you, let's say, a quick tour of what I think is required to even think about organizational-wide usage of AI. And then we'll go through two real-life cases of where it was applied successfully. Before we start, let me say why am I here doing this session. I've been in IT for 14 years, and I went through a variety of roles, some of more technical-oriented, some of more business-oriented. So I have an opportunity to observe how the market is changing, what are the hype cycles of different types of technology, and how they are applied in real life. And my specialty is around business processes in terms of what I'm consulting with my clients, also about document management and low-code and no-code delivery of applications. And I've been certified in AI by Microsoft, and I also have ITIL certification. So I hope my perspective will bring something new to your perspective of how to use AI. So let's start with a question. Please raise your hand if you believe AI would be beneficial for your organization. Okay, like vast majority of you. And now raise your hand if you believe your organization is ready to use AI. Just a handful. That's my point, exactly. So look, there is a very interesting statistics from Gartner who's analyzing the IT market and says, look, 69% of companies already detected their employees are using prohibited LLM models, AI solutions, and so on. Which brings us to a conclusion. There is no escaping from AI, right? It's a thing, and it's going to be there. So companies basically have two choices. Pretend they don't know their employees are using AI, or use it in a way that would be at least somewhat controllable, structured, and organized, right? And whenever I'm asked about AI, most of the questions I get are coming here. Hey, how do we use it? What are the use cases? How can it benefit my business, and so on and so forth. And that's great, right? But then I ask them, hey, do you have the data ready? And this is something that sparks longer discussion, and we go through certain aspects of it and so on. And one of the key aspects in this discussion is how to make sure we have the good data that could be leveraged for AI, right? And from my perspective, and what works for my clients is processes. And by processes, I mean something that will regularly make sure that you have a quality of data. It could be an application in our case, could be a different entity, but something that makes sure your data is there. And if you were to remember just one thing about the data, I recommend this short sentence: data is food for AI, right? You cannot use, on an organizational scale, AI without data. So that naturally brings us to a very famous garbage in, garbage out statement, right? If your data is garbage, your use of AI will be garbage, right? And it's going to be even more chaos than it was before. And this is not something that we want, of course, right? People get angry, people get mad, discouraged, and then any subsequent attempt to implement AI will be much harder than it could be, right? So that naturally brings a question: how this data, should look like, right? And I distilled like 5 qualities of data that you should take into account whenever you evaluate whether your organization is ready for AI. So first of all, the data has to be complete, right? If you have some Excel files with white empty spots and you want to use it for AI, most likely it will not work great. Then it has to be up to date. If I prepare my data today and I try to use it in half of a year without any updates, it's giving me conclusion based on half a year ago. It has to be consistent, right? This is something that I discussed even on this event with multiple people. Like, hey, we have the data, but it comes from multiple data sources, multiple systems, and I have to somehow make sure it works, and it's not consistent, right? So in one data source, it's labeled this way. In another one, it's labeled that way. You have to make sure it's unified. It also has to be unbiased. So it cannot be our personal opinion that we are taking into account whenever speaking with organizational use of AI. It has to be objective. It has to be facts, basically. And last but not least, it has to be precise. So it cannot be just, roughly, how much have you earned last year? Roughly 10 to 15 million, right? It will not work well. So these are the 5 principles you can evaluate your data by and see if you fulfill all of those conditions. And if so, then you will face the natural question, how to make this data work, right? So this is where I want to introduce 2 case studies and basically show you how other companies are doing it. The first company is called GTX Service. This is the company that services electrical tools, right? They have roughly 120,000 orders each and every year. And what is really interesting about that company is that it started as a startup several years ago. And from the very beginning, they made the strategic decision that they want to be fully digital. And by fully digital, I do not mean to use Outlook or Excel files. It means they wanted to use applications for all of their core processes, right? And everything around it. And that naturally provided them with the data that they can now use to efficiently and effectively use AI for their business. So they have a couple of cases that I've prepared for you. And the first one is related to customer service, right? Because customers are sending the equipment, and they typically have different but repetitive inquiries about what is going on, and so on and so forth. But first of all, let's start with the basis and try to answer the question, why would they use AI for that, right? And the answer is very simple. Because if you look at the facts, customer service specialists, roughly in their organization, took on average 4 hours to respond to an inquiry. And naturally, they work between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. So, they saw a room for improvement in terms of the response time. And obviously, they calculated that AI could do it quicker. And AI works 24/7, right? But this is just a surface, because the true reason was here, right? The cost of employment is steadily increasing over the years, and they simply arrived to a point where they had to think whether their business is profitable enough to continue, right? Because people want to earn more, and that's natural, and that's great, but also the company has to make money. All companies want, right? So, what did they do? They applied AI on top of all of the process applications that they had, because all of the data was there, to provide automatic responses to inquiries. And as I said, most of those inquiries are sort of repetitive. And I took real screenshots from their environment, okay? So this is a Polish client, so you'll be seeing Polish. I'm sorry for that, but it's a real case, right? So I didn't want to fabricate any information. So here's a customer asking, hey, will I receive a corrective invoice to my order, right? And this is the response that is sent by AI, and they call it Christina, like Christine AI, because all of the data is already there, right? They have their order, they have their information about the payment, about the invoices, and so on. So the AI is just extracting that, putting it into a nice formatted email to provide an instant feedback for the customer to be able to continue and be informed what is going on. But there is a curveball. They are an international company. So also, they get inquiries in other languages. In this case, it's Hungarian, right? So the stakes are getting higher, because if you want to respond in, let's say, 12 different languages, you have to have at least, well, I don't know, 6, 8, 10 specialists that are proficient in these languages. So that's one thing. And the second thing, if you notice here, the order number is not written, it's just pasted. It's a picture, right? So the question is, can AI handle it? And the answer is yes. Actually, AI is perfect for that. It can read through these kind of things very easily. And also, it can respond in a language that would be expected by the person asking a question, right? So I don't know about you, but to me, Hungarian is so confusing. I cannot even try to attempt to understand any of it. But the AI can, right? So it's very convenient, not only for the company, but also for the people that are sending their orders to them, right? Because they get information in language that they would expect. And in terms of the impact, as you can see, the man-hour cost is rising, but when they applied AI cost and also optimized it along the ways, is decreasing to a certain nice level. Which brings a natural question, what do we do with the people, right? Do we eliminate them? And my answer is no. Those people can just be put into more creative and more strategic activities in the company rather than answering standard emails, right? And you'll see that in a second. How did it work? Second case, same company. It's about oh no, sorry, I have some numbers. When they measured everything, on average, customer service specialist was able to send 8 responses an hour. Of course, they have other duties as well, right? On average, it costs €3 per email, and AI can easily send more than 100 an hour, and the actual cost was 5 cents per case, right? So if you measure and calculate the costs, this is where we are. And one important statistic, and this is something that people frequently ask about, is how accurate this is, right? Can we rely on it? In this particular case, 68% of inquiries are handled purely automatically and sent immediately to the customer. The rest, the remaining 33, are sent for a verification of a human, right? But the AI already suggests the response, so the human can only say, okay, let's send it, or maybe let's rewrite it and send it the way I want it. So now, the second case, same customer. As a part of the process of repairing electrical tools, the company is taking pictures 3 times for every single case, okay? They take a picture whenever they receive a product. They take a picture during the repair to pinpoint what kind of part is not working and needs to be replaced or fixed. And the third time they make a picture is when they repaired everything and they're ready to send the product, okay? And they had a problem with the quality of pictures. And by quality, I do not mean the resolution, okay? I mean by how professional they look, okay? Because technicians, they are great at their work, they are fixing tools, but they're not really photographers, right? So these are the examples of pictures that were sent to the customer. So first of all, it's a mess, right? Here you see a table that is dirty and broken. I don't know what's going on. But the last one is my favorite. And before I show it to you, imagine seeing this from afar on somebody's phone. This was sent to the customer, right? And as you can imagine, it's not a good PR, right? If a customer receives that image. And it may raise many questions. And actually, they had some more disturbing cases, like somebody's dirty toe being somewhere in the background of the picture or something like that, right? So obviously, they had to fix it, right? And their first idea was, of course, to let's have people verify these kind of pictures before we send them to the customer, right? But they process 120,000 repairs every year, right? And they have to take pictures 3 times. So it's 360,000, not pictures, but just series of pictures. Sometimes you can get 2 or 3, right? But then we come back to my original point. Do they have data? Yes. They collected all of the pictures across the years. So it was relatively easy to teach AI how to recognize if the picture is correct and up to the company standard, right? And they taught the neural network to do that. They have an application where technicians are uploading pictures. The AI verifies it. If it's correct, it goes to the client. If it's not correct, the technician simply gets a feedback. Hey, this is not up to company standard. Please take a better picture, maybe without your dirty finger on it, right? And it's great on its own, but if we dig a little bit deeper, it also eliminates unnecessary friction, right? Because if I'm a technician, I'm focused on repairing stuff, right? I take a picture because I must. It's part of the work, but it's not the core. It's an addition to it. And then somebody calls me like, hey, you need to fix this picture. I'm like, oh, come on, just pass it once, and next one I'll make it better, right? And it's a friction, right, between people. Now the system just says, okay, you need to correct it, and that's it. That's the end of the discussion. And also from the customer perspective, it's great if you receive some nice pictures. And these are the examples of pictures that are actually correct. So you have uniform background. You have the pointer pointing to what's the part that we are fixing, right? And it basically, in terms of the quality, they're also significantly better, right? So in terms of the impact that it had on the organization, they had 2 people previously that worked roughly 4 hours a day on verifying the pictures. And of course, they worked 8 to 4 p.m. But in terms of the AI, they achieved actually 97% of accuracy in photo recognition. And that's largely because they already had a huge database of pictures that they could use to teach AI how to recognize it. And from the customer experience perspective, if the photo is correct, it's sent automatically, right? So as a client, when I send the item, I get quickly pictures when it arrived, when it's being fixed, and once it's ready to dispatch. Third case, same client. In some cases, they have to move larger parts of equipment, right, from one place to another. And they're using different subcontractors for the logistics, right? And by default and by design, this process is how to compare the offers is super simple, because they are sending out emails to all of their logistics subcontractors, and they receive responses, and they compare them and decide which one to choose, right? And this is the response from a logistics company, like, hey, it will cost 480. We can be ready by 8 in the morning, and we'll go direct, right? And this is a very simple message. So the AI can, I'm pretty sure you cannot see what's here, but basically the AI can distill what is the actual date, what is the cost, what is the currency, right? But if you think about it, humans can respond in various different ways. So in this case, there is a date, 12th of August at 8 for 400. But in some cases, it can be very short, and even some words are shortened. So it's not Tuesday, it's 2, right? But AI can still figure it out and provide you with proper offer. So basically, in this case, the emails are sent, the responses are gathered, the AI is analyzing those responses, and quickly provides a comparison. Hey, here's logistics company 1, 2, 3. These are their offers, these are their terms. Choose whichever you prefer. So these are just 3 examples of how this company used AI. They have more, but we don't have that much time to go through all of it. But I'll in a moment, tell you about one more from this company. But first, I want to talk about the long-term benefits. Because I think we all agree that short-term benefits are quite easy to understand, right? It's quicker and it's less expensive. That was what's boiled down to. But then, let's talk about those people that suddenly had more time on their hand, right? So they can actually shift those people to more strategic roles in terms of the development of the company. And this is relatively small company in terms of how many people they employ. And traditionally, when companies grow, they hire more people, they open new subsidiaries in more cities, so they get a countrywide or European-wide coverage and so on and so forth. But this is also an expensive process on its own, right? You have to onboard people, find the location, sign contracts, yada, yada, yada. There are many moving parts. So instead of doing that, they decided that we'll grow not by muscle, so hiring more people, but by brain. Because they had all of the knowledge base, all of the process applications in place, all of the data, so they could basically provide all of that to subcontractors. And then they reduce the whole overhead that is required to open new facilities and so on and so forth. They just provide them with a short contract. Here's your database. And from now on, you're receiving orders from us and fix the stuff, right? So that's one thing. But the second thing that they started thinking about is, hey, can we use this data? Can we use this knowledge that we already gathered in different business areas, right? And they figured out they can. So they created a service where I, as a customer, can order a technician to fix something in my house, right? So washing machine is broken, electricity, is not working, anything like that, right? And I have to admit, I'm the frequent customer. I don't like fixing stuff at my home, right? I know there's many men, especially in IT, that like to tinker with stuff. I don't. I just want it to work, right? So from my perspective, this is a service I want. But you know what pisses me off about these services? Let's say my washing machine stopped working, right? I call the service, the technician arrives, he's examining the washing machine, and he tells me, okay, yeah, it's broken. Yeah, I knew that before, right? So you need to order a part, and I will install the part, and then we'll fix it. Okay, but you'll charge me 2 times, right? First for the initial inspection, and then for the repair. So I'm paying twice, and I'm also paying for the part. And that's something that, I, as a customer, can see that can be improved. And actually, this company is doing that by using AI for predictive analysis. So here it is. First of all, they have the whole knowledge base, right? So not only for electrical tools, but they also gather the knowledge, like if the washing machine is broken and the water is spilling for this specific brand and make, most likely this is the part that needs to be fixed, right? This is the whole knowledge base of multiple, actually thousands of pieces of equipment that can be fixed and how they should be fixed. So the database and data is there. Then they have a problem description from the customer, right? I say, hey, my machine is going boom, 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 and it's not working. Can you fix it? So they match the two, apply AI onto it to try to predict what is going to be a solution. And what does it mean to me as a customer? They already arrived initially with the part that I need for the fix. So first of all, they will fix my problem faster, and they'll charge me less. So we are all happy, right? So I think from this perspective, it's a great, unique selling point. There's something that, for this particular company, in this specific niche of the market, allows them to create a unique selling point for their service. Because there are many services in Poland, and I'm sure across the Europe, where you can order a serviceman to come to your house and fix something. But I haven't seen others that could already predict how to fix your equipment before they arrive, right? Okay. Yes?
Just one question. What is the percentage of matching parts?
What is the percentage of matching parts?
Yeah.
So this is at the early stage of implementation. So they yet have to evaluate like how many they could predict correctly. So maybe if we see each other next year, I'll be able to tell you. All right, look, this was one company. Let's move to the second one. It's more, I would say, serious stuff in a certain sense because it's about investments and European funds. Unfortunately, this is a case that is largely under NDA, so I cannot disclose the customer name and some of the details, but I'll give you an idea what they did, okay? So it's a manufacturing company and a fairly large one. So every year they plan some investments to grow their business, make sure they are more profitable, and so on and so forth. Investments could be very different, right? Could be a new warehouse, or it could be a digitalization, could be something else, right? So first of all, what they start with is data. So they make a registry of all of their planned investments in their systems, just for the purpose of having them in place and using them later, okay? Second of all, it would be nice if some of the costs could be funded by European Union, right? If we are in the EU, we might as well use it, right? Who of you got through the process of getting European funds in some capacity? Raise your hand. Okay. Was it fun? No. No, yeah. It's a very tedious process, right? It's painful. The result is great if you get the funds, but the whole journey you have to go through, it's painful. So what do they do? First of all, they already use AI to make a registry of all of available European funds and grants programs in their database. So they can use AI to scrape some information. They can analyze the documents, so to get certain list of requirements, to get certain criteria listed. And also, they already can get suggestions how it can be applied, right? So that's, I would say, the first step of what can be done. But the second one is even more important. Because getting through all of those documents, all of those requirements is tedious, and for most people in this world, it's boring. But AI is perfect for it. So, because they have all of the data about all of the available EU funds, they have all of the data about their planned investments, they simply take the two, apply AI, and try to find where's the match, right? So for the new warehouse, we can use this one. For the digitalization, we can use this one. Here are the preliminary factors that we have to take into account, and so on and so forth. Is it fully automatic? No. And I wouldn't even recommend it, because there always has to be a human in the loop, especially if it comes to money and legal stuff, right? So the AI is used to give them a first push, a first step to quickly get around an idea. Can we do it? How can we do it? How much we can get? What are the conditions? And so on and so forth. And then humans take over and make sure it's being done. Okay? That's the general gist of it. Of course, there are many, many details in this process on how it's done, but unfortunately, I can just give you the whole idea. But again, if we look at the absolute base of what is needed, it's the data, and then AI just uses that data to get the desired result. So again, if we look at the pyramid of AI enablement, you have to have this. This processes will help you get the first level, and once you have that covered, you can think of an AI. If you're interested in hearing more, ETA2U is our premium partner in Romania. You can feel free to get in touch with them. Of course, you can get in touch with us. We have a booth here, so if you want to have a chat, that's not a problem. And before we end, are there any questions? Yes, please. Sorry, I have to approach you because I cannot hear you.
The first example you presented us, thank you very much. It was interesting, but you didn't mention company, it can be a large company. Investment in IT, it's a prohibitive for many companies, small company. What is your opinion?
Okay, I'll just repeat what you asked for, just so everybody hears that. The question is about the cost. I think I gave some indications. Like they calculated the cost per case, right? So it was 3 euros before, and then it was 5 cents after, right? But of course, you have to, take different angles on the cost levels. And as you've seen those charts, it's not like they implemented once and forgot about it. They kept optimizing to make sure those tokens are well spent, and to minimize the cost and get the same result. So if you want hard data, I can provide you some of those numbers. I think from 3 euros per case to 5 cents per case is a nice return on investment. But also we have to be aware that it cannot be done once and forgot. It has to be a process where you improve and learn, to be honest. Any other questions? Yes.
In your first example, with the pictures,
Yes.
how come the AI did not fix the picture by itself? Why it sent back the message that it did not fit the criteria and needs to take another one? That's going back to the person. How come the AI was not able to fix the problem and solve it?
Okay. The question is, how come the AI cannot fix the pictures?
Yeah.
And I think it's not a technological question per se, because as a customer, would you like to receive a photo that was corrected by AI, or would you like to get the real picture of your equipment? That's my question. Yeah, and even worse, generate a picture of the equipment. So no, look, I'm not saying it's impossible or it's prohibited. It's their conscious decision that they want to apply AI only to verification and stay true to the customer by sending them actual raw pictures for the transparency reasons. So they do not get any feedback, hey, why does it look like AI-generated photo or touch-up photo?
But it's not provided any feedback. What was the problem with the photo? So the person received an error. It's a problem with the photo. But what should I do differently?
And yes, I'll just repeat for everybody to hear. The question is about can the AI provide more feedback, like what is wrong with the photo? And I actually believe this is something that they could still work on to provide more detailed information why certain picture was disqualified. So again, we talked about it's a certain process to get certain results, but you also have to go step by step. If they initially try to achieve this result, they might have gotten somewhere else, right? So I agree with you. It would be even better if the technician received a clear information. Hey, we don't want to see your dirty toe in the background, so please fix it, right? I definitely agree. Okay, look, that's the end. Thank you very much.